Episode 46. Thank you guys for checking into the show. Welcome back. The Hour Continues. Check out episode 46 with our friend Rob Eastman, new friend Rob Eastman. He's a tattooed life coach. We have a lot in common. There was a lot of fire going on in here, man. It felt hot in here the whole time. I'm sunburned, I think, from it. You guys will check it out. Watch the video. You'll see what I mean. Also, if you guys are looking to get tattooed, hit us up here at Highline Tattoo. That's what I do, as well as life coaching. Let us know, man. We do it all. So check this episode out. I think you're going to love it. Thanks, guys. Welcome. You're listening to the 27th Hour with Junior
and Dre Rocket.
Get ready, strap in, and hang on. Okay, we're on the right track. So you good? You guys find the game. I don't know. Welcome back to the show. For sure. Mr. Eastman.
How are you?
Mr. Rob Eastman. How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, I was happy. It's, you get in the podcast world and you get, there's a lot of people doing or trying to do it. And once in a while, you feel something before you even get on there. And I kind of felt that about this. So
don't make me if you choke me up, I choked up on the last one, so don't do that to me, goddammit.
I can just feel when people have a story to tell and a purpose, not for the purpose of a podcast, but that it needs to be heard. And I feel like that's probably you.
And I've known you 8 minutes, and that makes my heart want to melt right there.
So I'm excited.
Thank you, bro.
I'm excited, yeah.
We're so fucking humbled to have you here.
I appreciate you reaching out.
Dre fucking seen your shit, and he's like, bro, hit this dude up.
I'm glad.
And did you see him at the fight? Did you see him? No. Because you were at that same fight. We were all there.
It was a crazy story. So we were all at the fights at the Maverick Center. And when I say we all, like all three of us were there, but also the Lake Talk 801 podcast was there. And the other side of the Beehive was there. Dalton was there. And you were a guest on the Lake Talk 801.
Yeah, that story, that happened really weird. So I'm sitting there.
That's how he hit me up, though, to hit you up.
Yeah.
That's how that happened.
We were sitting there, and they're all standing over there staring at me, and I sit down because I know half the fighters on the card.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any of them at the time, and Fonzie comes walking over, and they're all kind of behind him. I'm like, shit's about to pop off.
Shit, here we go.
He's like, man, what do you know these guys? And we just started talking, and he came back later. And he's like, I feel like I've been prompted to come and ask you to be on my podcast. And we didn't even know anything about each other. And then it ends up, I love those guys.
That's dope.
Great people. And I've become pretty close with them.
The way these knots get tied freaks me out, dude. It's cool.
Yeah.
So, we have that same weird thing where we're meeting so many beautiful people like that.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to connect.
For sure.
Where we're so disconnected with social media and things.
Horribly. Getting
in, having some real conversation, I think is a lot of people that can't do it thrive on it. The podcasting is a big industry of helping people feel connected.
For sure. And anybody can do it, man. And everybody is doing it.
Yeah.
Right? But the good ones show. They're there. That material's out there. Yeah. Which brings me to yours, bro. I'm checking your shit out. I love it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
You're crushing
Appreciate that. I feel like for me it was ultimately, so my dad passed away when I was 9 months sober.
Damn.
And as we go through the years, we're like, do we have a picture of dad? Do we have video of dad? And it comes down, we have this shitty recording of like his voice.
We turn their, she's not down here. I'm listening. I'm going to turn their fucking stereo off up there.
You can hear his voice a little bit, but it's like those little things, like our memories, but they kind of fade as time goes on. So for my daughter, I wanted my podcast is ultimately my journal, what I stand for, so that she can hear my voice, know who and what I was if something were to happen, because I don't like writing in a journal.
That's what he said earlier. He says the same idea, like we're putting our worlds out there for people. That's cool, man.
And hopefully it lives on and it changes some lives, but ultimately it's for my daughter.
That's cool, bro.
So I've done one with her.
How'd your dad pass away?
Diabetes on the side of the road, leaving his doctor, going to the pharmacy to get, we talk about cancer a lot. We talk about all these things, but diabetes is an ugly ugly disease.
Bro.
And it was just kind of spur of the moment, and didn't expect it. And
sorry to hear that, man.
So, yeah, I got a...
How long ago was that?
Decade, 10 years.
10 years.
We're coming on 11, so that's kind of one of the big stories of what kind of catapulted me into my recovery. Was I went to rehab, got out. My wife told me, by the way, we're divorced. Shortly after that, the bank came and took everything I owned. And see, I needed the beautiful wife to make me feel cool. I needed the house and the trucks to make me look cool. And I needed my dad to pay for those things because I couldn't do it at the time. And all those things were ripped away from me. And that forced me to level up, to face myself, to stop running. That's why my podcast is called Stand and Fight. That I needed, unfortunately, I needed those things to be taken from me in order to find out what kind of man I was.
Damn, bro. That hit fast.
Yeah.
Everything at once. What'd that do to your head, bro? Did you just telling me you got in the mirror, you're like, bitch, here we go? Or were you like, was this hard? Were you like, poor me? What the fuck did I do? How did you do that? Where'd you go there?
So I got really good in my addiction. So my first suicidal thoughts started in the third grade. I was bullied from kindergarten up, red hair, big ears, easy target.
I feel it.
And my manipulation was on point. You know, most addicts are. But it got to the point where my daughter was 7 months old. I couldn't manipulate my dad anymore. He would always take care of me. And I had nothing. And I found myself literally yelling at myself in the basement of my mom's house in the mirror, crying uncontrollably and saying all these awful things about myself. And it was like I saw myself in real time for the first time. I saw the bumps and bruises in my soul. And it allowed me, I gave a middle finger to God, because if there was a heaven, my dad was there. And if he was there, he was running the show anyways, kind of a attitude.
Right, I feel that.
And so I quit praying to God and I started praying to my dad and asked myself the question, would I hang out with these people? Would I have this conversation if my daughter was sitting here? Would I trust these people to take care of my little girl? And the answer was no. So I found myself alone. And it ultimately gave me one of the last conversations me and my dad had. We didn't know he was going to die. And it was like, I was crying about being alone. I need a girlfriend, giving me the poor me and the pity party. And he asked me a question. He said, if Sophie was old enough to date and a guy like you came in, would you let her date him? And before that even came out, I was like, hell no. And he just smiled at me. And it was like,
Got it.
Until the answer is yes, work on yourself. Don't date.
That's hard, bro.
So
I like that.
I spent a lot of time in AA and finding myself and training. You know, I jumped into ultra marathons and obstacle racing and things like that.
What kind of how did your dad have that fucking insight? It's not just a dad thing. Yeah, I'm a dad too. We're all dads. There's some wisdom there. There's rich something in his heart that brought that. That's beautiful, bro. Because I coach as well. I feel your coaching thing. I love that. Like, was your dad super into the way our brains are and the way, or did you just own some shit too and live through it? How do he hate you like that?
Yeah, he was a rare breed, man. He was an amazing man. So his dad, he was getting ready to open his first dealership with his father. And shortly before they opened the doors, his dad drove truck for Chevron. And he was driving out like Salem or somewhere in a winter storm. And this car, this is what the family said, that they kept bumping into the truck, and that if he hadn't have turned off the road, that they would have gotten crushed under the truck. So he ended up driving his truck, and it was an overpass. So a tragic accident. And then a year later, his mother committed suicide.
That killed him to do the truck thing?
The dad got killed. My grandpa got killed.
Jesus.
And then grandma took her life a year later. So my dad didn't have a choice. And so he goes on from living from nothing, a poor family, to owning car dealerships, to becoming the majority whip at the state senate, to being the school board president, to doing all these amazing things and helping others, because I feel he'd been through so much that he had just a different insight. You can read all you want. You can go to all the school you want. But until you've been in the depths of hell, you don't have the roadmap. And
Say
I just
less.
feel like he was an incense.
Say less. That's real, bro. That's why I feel that coaching coming out of your fucking pores, right? That's why I can feel your dad's story coming out of your pore. You've been there. You know it. They know it. You can feel that, right? When people talk, you can hear it. You're like, dude, it's real. This shit's real.
Yeah, so
Man,
I think there's
that's a
just a
hard
lot
story.
of those tough things that mold people, and you can choose to let life happen to you or for you.
Yeah, is it happening with us or against us? All that. Huh?
Yeah.
How's life going for you?
Dude, I got to pinch myself quite often. these
Fuck, I do
days.
too. I do too.
It's like where I've been, like even
I like
what
that.
I ever wanted for myself, my own belief system of what I could have, I'm so far past that I just have to stay as humble as possible.
You're like, what's going on around
Because
here?
every time I get cocky in the past, God's like, nope. Whoosh,
Bam,
and
bitch.
Smacks me off my pedestal, and I start back at ground zero. So
I think that's where I'm at too. It's like you can never live on the high, but you can never live in the low either. You just gotta have to live in this middle part. And I was telling Dalton that. I was like, he's like, how you doing? I was like, man, I'm just trying to live between excitement and depression.
That's life, baby. That's it, right? Like, man, that's real, bro. I like that.
yeah,
So your dad had this beautiful insight. Crazy cool human.
yeah. And I think he struggled with some depression himself, so he got it. You know, he helped a lot of people and put that smile on and just made it happen.
Like you say, going to school, teaching to coach, teaching, helping, showing somebody a craft. Man, that's cute. That's good. Till you've been in the ring, got the fuck knocked out of you. You can't fight, right? I know all about Muay Thai. Go in there and get the shit knocked out of you. You're going to learn Muay Thai.
Yeah,
That's real, right?
yeah.
That's what sculpted your coaching, man. I feel it. I see your stuff, man. Your shit's heavy. It's heavy.
I feel like that. For me, I didn't learn. I never had faith in anything. I always needed to find out for myself.
Yeah.
And when I got sober, one of the major things was I didn't want to live in fear anymore. So one of those was I got really good at acting tough, but I wasn't tough.
Am I looking at myself? Is anybody catching this shit, or I'm freaking the fuck out right here, bro?
So
Fuck, man. It's freaking me the fuck out because these are all the exact words I use.
yeah,
I love
so
it.
that's what I'm sitting there
my
literally
God.
on my mom's couch in my boxer shorts, and I'm on Facebook, and Stillfist says, and I'd never been to an MMA fight, nothing, right? And
Yeah.
and I don't even know how they were on my thread, but they're like, late notice fight, I need a 155er, and something, my ego, of course, something got in me. No, my ego. So at this time, I'm ranked in the world in obstacle racing. I'm running ultra marathon. You know, I'm
Damn.
tough, and I've never lost a street fight. And so I go and run and get on my mom's scale. I'm like 154. I run back to the laptop and say, me, dink. And the second I hit send, I got so insecure.
What the fuck did I just do?
And then he emails me and he's like, do you have any wrestling experience? And then, of course, my ego hit. I wrestled 7th grade at Mill Creek Junior High,
I'm a
bro.
bad motherfucker.
And he's like, this guy wrestles for Nebraska. And I'm like,
Fuck.
smashed. So
Fuck.
I trained for 3 weeks and got in the cage.
How'd you
And
do?
I went into the 3rd round, but I got smashed, bro.
3 fucking rounds though.
Yeah. I thought I was going to
Congratulations.
die. So as I'm in the back,
God,
all
those
of
dudes
those
are fucking incredible human beings, bro.
Yeah. All the insecurities and fear are coming in, and I'm looking at my coaches like waiting for somebody to stop this. And at one point, I remember looking down to make sure I wasn't floating. I couldn't hear much. My teeth were buzzing. I was so freaking scared. The anxiety was so high, and I just had tunnel vision. And I can remember looking back at my coaches leaving and locking the cage, and I'm just like,
I'm fucked.
where the fuck you going? Like, don't leave me in here. And then the fight started, and for me, it was a fight, right? I was so scared, so much anxiety, so much adrenaline, and like he was going to kill me. And made it through, ended up getting choked out. And I remember being so this is back when it was on TV and they're broadcasting it everywhere. There's thousands of people there. And I'm just all that self-doubt and head down, and I just embarrassed my entire family. I embarrassed myself. I should have never done this. And as I'm leaving, everybody along the way is like, that was amazing. You did so good. And I'm like, making sure the dude that just beat me wasn't right there, and they're talking to him. And that was another huge moment in my life where I found out the only person in that place talking shit about me was me. and that I needed to do more self work, not people please and make everybody around me happy and pretend to be something, because I did that my whole life.
Right.
And I needed to get real, and I had a lot of anger problems. And when I thought I was going to learn and be able to beat people up and not get in trouble for it, what martial arts gave me was confidence, team spirit, honor, discipline, anger management. And
Sober
the more I learned,
brings you to the dirt, don't it?
Yeah, the more I learned, the less angry I was.
Nice.
So that journey, I went on for like 4 years, and then I went on to the next fears and the next fears, and it just kind of has taken me on this wild journey of recovery and
How was your fighting career after that? How did you do? Did you just
I lost the first two because I wasn't training with anybody. I just went in there because I was tough, right?
Yeah.
And then once I got a coach, I went undefeated, and my last two fights lasted 1:38 total.
Fuck.
So it was pretty cool.
Why'd you stop?
Because I was 39 and getting I was married, and it's at fight camp. I almost got divorced every time. Damn. It was cutting weight and the tax on your body of fight camp, and I just had other things that I wanted to do, and I felt like I went in it for the wrong reasons, and I came out with the right one.
So you
wasn't about the fight anymore.
Job was done. You done it. God, that's dope, bro.
And I still do it. I still grapple weekly. I still box weekly. I still do all that, and as almost like a meditation. How people do yoga, what that is for them is grappling for me. I'm at peace. I am so calm and feel the spirit, if you will, when I'm grappling with the freaking lions.
That's scary as fuck is what that is.
And that helps me. Some dudes.
That's a dangerous motherfucker right there.
Yeah. So did you know any of the fighters at that fight?
Yeah,
Bradshaw.
Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor.
You guys were all there for Trevor? Yeah,
Trevor's
I love Trevor.
One of my good friends.
So there was
He's been on the show.
The co-main was Jason South. Nicest dude on the planet. But he is a shark, dude. His jiu-jitsu is insane. So he came over to my gym to teach us a little seminar, and he's like, "Okay, let's roll." And I'm pretty tough, and I'm pretty fast. I couldn't even get through his guard. I was like a little baby.
Dudes are fucking
He's a black belt. I just felt like there's levels to the game, and some of those guys
bro.
And you see them on the streets. You always got to check for that cauliflower ear. And if they have it, just keep on walking.
Yeah.
Just move along.
Don't fuck with that guy.
What'd you think about that though? What did you think about that 'cause Sharp Sharp that wasn't the co-main, right? Sharp was the one right before co-main. What'd you think about that stoppage?
Dude, that was fucking gnarly.
That was just one of those high emotion moments that it was so close, but unfortunately once they call something bad or good call, they can't reverse it. So
they cannot reverse that.
No, once you stop it, it's done. So as I'm sure that guy probably, knowing our day and age, he probably got death threats for stopping the fight. But I think the whole point of it, the whole night was for the man who passed away and Sharp's good friend. Yeah. And to see him back, I remember watching him on the UTC or whatever it was. And I remember seeing him. He used to do valet for the Jazz games, and I'm like, "Are you Razor Sharp?" Like he was kind of a guy. So to see him back in there, and I mean, you saw his spirit in there.
He's a fucking caged animal, bro. That dude is intense as hell.
So, and knowing it's hard for spectators to understand it, but the time and effort you put in, and then getting in there and displaying and the hard work away from family and all that, and to have it cut short. Beyond not liking the other guy or whatever, it kind of steals a little bit of you. Like I said, my last two lasted. One was 38 seconds, and the other one was 1:08. And although it's great to win, I felt robbed. I was a little mad at my opponents for not training better, because that's 6 months, 90 days, whatever, that you don't get back.
Yeah.
But is that them not training well, or is that you just being a badass and training your ass off?
He's too humble.
Yeah, like you need to give yourself some credit.
Don't
like,
listen to this guy.
You worked hard. Like you said, this was the first time I actually fucking trained, and I took the shit serious.
Yeah.
And you got results, right?
Yeah.
So give yourself some credit.
Still.
And the beauty,
I love that.
The best part of it is the kid that kicked my ass in the first fight. I humbled up and I went and trained with him.
Is he a beast?
Yeah. And then my coach, Will Pace, he has a Taekwondo academy. And we were kind of no-namers, and Paul went on a 4-0 run. I went on a 2-0 run, and we were just this little tight little family that we trained 6 days a week together, blood, sweat, and tears, and looked out for each other. And that was a good little family, you know.
You guys are different humans, man. You guys are you guys, I put you in this category. You're very, very unique people. You're also, the good ones are fucking humble. You're quiet. You're easy to be around. You guys are just good, solid humans, man. You have a confidence about your aura that's just, it's infectious, man. You guys are, tough guys aren't tough guys. Like, fuck that. You guys are all chill, man, and that's scary, right? Yeah. Like, I know some people got problems. I know that. I know a couple of them that are unhinged. These couple that are unhinged are losing. Yeah. And they're losing every fucking fight. And I won't say who none of these people is, but the guys that are so chill and so quiet and just want to hug you, I'm like, man, that fucking dude is scary, bro.
Yeah.
You're like, beautiful humans, man.
Have you guys met Bobby? He was the main.
Bobby King. I haven't met him personally, but man, the first fight that we went to was actually the fight that we didn't meet, but we were all. It was the LFA.
Yeah. It
was the first, not first LFA, but it was the LFA. What was it? 2019.
Something like
that.
Is
it where he fought Fabio?
It was no. The main was King and Samson. I think.
Okay.
I think that was the main.
He knocked him out.
Yeah, and man, just seeing the support that Bobby King had was insane.
Dude, Bobby is the nicest, humblest savage.
Fuck, I told you, man. I feel it.
Just smile while he's choking the life out of you.
Fuck you. That's just scary, man.
But it is.
Like, hey, little boy.
You see him hug after all the fighters. You go in, you put your heart on the line, and then you can pick them up and high five them at the end. Like, there's some honor.
You can feel it. You can feel it, man.
And you know, I love sitting in the crowd and hearing the little princesses saying, why doesn't he keep his hand up? This is what I would have done. Like, you never step foot in a cage, first off, nor in like walking into a fight gym. It's pretty terrifying because some of them don't care that you're new. You're just a new piece of meat, and you go in there and you got to drop your ego and do all these things, and it's humbling. And Bobby has a gym. He's a great place up there, and they're doing great things, man. I love that whole family, and it was a major player in my upbringing in recovering from addiction was seeing really tough men being vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And I think I had to see that in order to grow, because all of us grew up in the 90s, right? We weren't taught that. We were taught, don't talk about your stuff, don't share it with anybody outside the family, and handle your shit.
Act tough. Act tough, fool.
So what happens when you can't do that? Drugs, alcohol, suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, self-harm, mistreating women, whatever it is. And I think it takes that same man to go out and change the next generation. And that's, I think, what I'm dedicated to doing.
That's where you're at. You're a dad, man. You're fucking dad.
My daughter.
That will change you. That rewires your brain.
Man, I was so happy. She's like my little tomboy and a girly girl at the same time. But a few years ago, she's like, Dad, I want to try jiu-jitsu. Oh. And I was like, what? Get the gi. Let's go. And she made me so happy. But there was a little kid there that was like, he would spaz out because she would beat him. It's like starts kicking and, being disrespectful. So she lost the love for it. And we ride horses. I have a little farm, and we ride horses and do all these things. And she's kind of timid, and then she hits puberty this year in 6th grade and turns into this little woman. And so I have to alter who and what I'm going for. And I remember seeing that little blip in Den of Thieves when the prom date comes over.
When Fifth goes out to all the Usos in the garage.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, that's totally what I was going to be. But as we move through this deal, if I want my daughter to talk to me, if I want to be that example, I've got to change the way I operate. So luckily my girlfriend, she's been a great influencer on me of how to chill out and be a better example for my daughter, like when she's there, better father. So I back off, and all of a sudden she's trying out for lead plays, and she joins the Fremont wrestling team. She's in 6th grade. We're dirt biking. We're doing all these things. She is so confident. And that's when it clicked. It's like, my job is to prepare her for everything that's coming down the pipeline, not lie to her, not protect her from, but prepare her for the bad date, for the mean girls, for whatever, that she has enough confidence in her soul that no man or woman will ever tell her her worth, and that she can step forward on her own 2 feet.
I love it. That's fucking dope, bro. Instead of, this is how you're going to do this. Because this is how you do things. Look at this. This is how I do things. They got to live it, right?
Yeah.
They got to live it.
I can act tough and maybe scare away the guy that should have been with her. Or I can teach her a naked choke so she can whip the dude's ass if he tries something.
Because if you do that one time, you got to fucking do it every time, because she going to expect the next. Where's daddy? Daddy ain't there. I'm going to fucking handle this. I got this.
Yeah. So I just want her to have that confidence that I never had. Not that my parents were amazing people. That's the hard part, is there's no reason that I should have came out. I think that we don't want our kids to be in pain. We don't want them to hurt. And so we want to try and save. And now we understand a lot more about mental health. And because I was bullied, because I had suicidal thoughts in the 3rd grade, all these things, I think they just kind of protected me too long. Yep. And it clipped my wings. No fault on theirs, but
you're twisting that, and you're making something beautiful out of what happened, man. It's beautiful. What inspired you to be a life coach, bro? Obviously, all your this, but I do the same thing, and I wondered what pushed you into that position. What you sat there like, dude, I got to help this. This is cool. What put you there?
I feel I didn't choose it, and it chose me.
Cool.
So right out of rehab, the only thing I was good at was athletics. So I started training a lot, and the guy that let me train at his gym, he said that I could use his gym on the off hours. So I started training other people, like other addicts, and I wanted them to feel how I felt, right? And I quickly found that one person was in the gym for the gym. They were in there for a bad marriage, or they hated their body, or it was all mental health stuff. And so I quit studying fitness, and I started studying psychology. And the more I did that, the more I found that my gift, my reason for being on this planet just came together. Using my fails and using my talents all in one thing, teaching people how to do hard things in a safe environment and a healthy lifestyle. It just kind of came together. So I've studied coaching strategies, and I probably have pretty close to a master's level in psychology self-study over the last 10 years.
Nice.
So I'm very intrigued with the mind and fitness and nutrition and things like that. It gets a bad rap in the way people are seen in the vain side of things, but how your body operates, if you don't fuel it right, it's not going to release the right chemicals. It's like having a car and not putting gasoline in it. Makes no sense. So if you're fueling shitty, no wonder you feel like shit. It's just the way it works. Has nothing to do with it being your thing or not your thing. It's your body. It's the one vessel you get. If you want to think right, you need to feed it right. So the more I got into it, originally with the fighting, they aired the fights at the jail. And so I started getting these phone calls from prisoners saying, dude, I want to come train with you, because I had commercials on as well. So I'm like, perfect, because at first I was like, I'm going to train professional athletes and blah, 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 blah. And I'm come to find out athletes don't have money. It was the 60-year-old lady that I needed to teach how to get on and off the couch safely that would pay me $800 a month, right?
Right.
And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to transition these gangsters coming out of prison. So I'm getting these hardcore dudes, double attempted murder, teaching them how to fight and be humble and be respectful and all these things. And it just kind of transitioned down the more I thought about it. It's like we spend so much money on intervention that if we put more money into the elementary schools and the junior highs, that in a few years the prisons would be empty. if we gave them the right guidance that they may not be getting at home, after school programs, teaching them that it is okay to be vulnerable, that what they're seeing at home isn't okay, teaching them the right things, that if we just help them a little more at a younger age, that maybe we can change things. Instead of cleaning up messes, we could stop them from happening. So that's how I transitioned into youth, and now I've got a huge youth program. And I'm very passionate about the protection of and the proper preparation of our youth. And I don't know how it happened, but I'm the head coach of a high school. And
you don't know how it fucking happened? Stop right now.
You had a roadblock though, right? And even getting into the school, will you touch on that?
Yeah. So I was like 4 years sober, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm doing better than I've ever done. You know, I'm on top of the world. And my stepson at the time, we were playing baseball, and I'm cage fighting, and I'm sitting at a doubleheader. Maybe he might get up, maybe he'll get a catch, and we're there for 6 hours. I'm like, bro, we got to change sports. I don't care what it is. I'll even help coach. Let's switch it up. And he chose wrestling. And so when practice started, I went up there and walked in the door, and the coach was like, who are you? What are you doing? I'm like, hey, I'd love to volunteer. And they're like, yeah, you can't be here. You got to go get a background check. So 4 years removed from an addict where everything's perfect, you know, I really didn't even know what I'm about to say after, but I went in, I got my fingerprints, background check, and they said, you'll find out in the next 2 weeks, and then you can get going. And I got an email the next day that said, thanks, but no thanks. Damn. And it had a list of it had my background in it. I didn't know that if you get charged, that it goes on there. I didn't know that, if you get pulled over and you get picked up, even if you weren't guilty, it's still on your record. I didn't know that. So to a normal person, I had like 2 pages. no convictions, right? But this laundry list of, you're not going to, on paper, I looked horrible. And in that moment, I'm like all insecure again. Like, why are people judging me? And then I took a step back and was like, you know what? No. So I set an appointment. I went back in, and the guy that denied me, I sat down, I pushed my background check across the table and said, where would you like to start? Shared my story, and by the end, he was teary-eyed, and he stamped it, approved, and said, we need more coaches like you.
Dope, bro.
And that was 8 years ago.
And you're doing lots of school stuff.
Uh-huh.
Is that that's your main thing, right? Is that where you're at? You do lots and lots of that. I've noticed.
I do a lot. It's, I have the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have one of the only non-clinician ran programs in the state accepted by the courts. So I do one-on-one intensive outpatient for mental health, addiction, suicide, porn, whatever it is, helping professionals stay in their job and get help at the same time. Worked with doctors. I've worked with other therapists needing help, and then a lot of kids that I work with. So that's probably the bulk of what keeps me afloat. And then as I speak, now that COVID's off, I'll get back to it. But I was on the college tour prior to COVID, and that got shut down. But getting back in, like tattooed guys, right? Yeah. We get looked at differently in Utah.
Yeah, bro.
So when the funny example is the state school PE and health teacher conference, like 1,200 teachers, all the admins and stuff up at the Davis Conference Center, right up here in Layton. Huge room. I walk in, and I always, whether I'm on the Senate floor or whatever, I do T-shirt, flat brim, because Eric Thomas always said, you'll never be the best copycat. Just do you. I feel like I always get the flu if I have a collared shirt on. I don't know if it's PTSD from church or what.
I'm telling you.
So as I'm walking in, I get ushered out because this is a private party and that I'm not allowed in there. And as they're coming to the door and they're not listening to me, the guy who hired me, he's like, hey, he's the keynote speaker.
Like, no, you can throw me out.
And I just smiled at her. I'm like, it's okay.
That's cool.
And I went and took the stage. And then Utah State hired me for their leadership summit. It's all the ambassador kids, like get full ride scholarship. There was, 800 or 900 kids. And I was the keynote for that. And I ended it with, just so you know, I was kicked out of Utah State in 1997. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, follow your passion, be you, and do your best. So I've had some really cool experiences, and the best part of all of it is that society is built off of judging failure, and now failure is exactly what pays my bills.
Funny how that works. I love that.
Beautiful thing.
Where'd all this come from, bro? You're in there deep, man. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, bro.
So have you ever been to a teenager suicide funeral?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have.
Yeah.
How'd that make you feel?
Yeah, those are rough.
Unnecessary.
Yeah. That's
why I do what I do.
As a teenager, even going to them, I remember in school, and I was like, what in the fuck? It's so confusing to me. And then, but you get wrapped in it, and you kind of go down the road with them. Like, you find yourself, like, clinging to it a little bit. I was always that guy, like, instead of trying to help or something, almost kind of getting in that mindset, like, man, why is everybody like that, right? I'm very much that guy, too. I'm very vulnerable, extremely wide open. I'm all about my feelings, so I have no problem saying how I truly felt then, right? But it flipped me, too, that way, where it wasn't fighting that was my thing. I was a fighter, but not training, right?
Yeah.
Real people that know how to kill people with their hands don't fucking kill people with their hands.
Yeah.
You guys see it as a craft, and it's beautiful, right? I was a scared, insecure, beat the fuck out of anybody that got in my face kind of guy, and it's just not even it, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't tough. So I feel that.
That's how I feel. I felt like if I acted tough and scary, that it would scare most of the people off, and hopefully nobody would call me out on it, when inside I was just terrified.
You're looking at the same shit right here.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. When you're doing your thing with everybody, is that part of your big thing, is getting them in the gym and working them up? And
yeah, I won't work with
Working that
anybody
ego out.
really that if they're not willing to put in the work on that side of things. I don't care it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have about anything if you can't put it into action.
Word.
It just doesn't matter. So, and what it can do for you, the buzz, the feel goods, the confidence, without doing just putting in the work. Like, there's no schoolwork. Just go in, break a sweat, and I promise you, within a week or two, you're going to be like, why the hell did I ever stop? Or why didn't I start?
Yeah.
And then it's like, we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on going to rehab, and it's like, they take the needle out of your arm, they sit you in a class 3 days later for 8 hours a day, spitting collegiate level psychology at you, and then kick you out 30 days later. It's like your body's not even thinking clearly, detoxing, whatever, for 30 days. I want to get feeling better and have some energy in order to even listen. So I think we missed the bar on that in mental health. And I just think fitness, you can do it for free. You can do it anywhere. You can make it your own. You can hike. You can do sit-ups in your front. It doesn't matter. But I promise you, if you stay to it for more than 2 weeks, it's like any addiction. You stop eating carbs, you're going to get a headache. You're going to be irritable. You're going to have a hard time sleeping for about 10 days. Sugar, Coke, heroin, it doesn't matter. The body's way. It's a very, very good system, and it knows if it's getting caffeine from somewhere else, it's going to shut off the energy, putting it out. It's going to hold on to it, right? So as soon as we take anything away from it, then we have a withdrawal period. The pain of that is where everybody fails. Got to be willing to feel things a little bit.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, fitness is, I think, a no-brainer.
That's a really good way to put all that too, because you can't fake that one. Go ahead. We're gonna grapple for a minute, and there's nothing even to say, right? You get down, and they're like, "Fuck, you can't breathe. You're gonna puke.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna go through feeling this stuff, and you're gonna be like, calm down, man.
Yeah.
Let me calm you down. You're okay. Look, watch." Just tighten you up a tickle, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I can see that being so effective. Like, if somebody wants to just find their self, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah. I think really most people are afraid to do what they've always wanted to do, whether it's singing, becoming an artist. I mean, I wish people could see. Have you done a video of the inside of this place?
Not a full one, no.
We'll
say
to.
that.
You need to, because this is not normal. Like, this is like creativity
Thanks, man.
forever. And some people might be fearful of even trying, in fear of what somebody might think.
Yeah.
But how many hours just in this room alone, that doesn't include anything else. For real.
Countless.
And how much did that help your mental health? How much did that make you feel good about the accomplishment and the hours put in?
Yep.
People just want a magic pill or something to pat them on the back and it be okay. It's the power and the amazement is in the journey. It's not the destination. It's like you build something, you're like, wow, that's great. What else can I build? It's not like, cool, I'm going to ride that laurel. I'm going to sit that. I built this lamp this one time. It was bitching.
Is there a mirror? Like, am I looking in a mirror? This is fucking freaking me out. Where's my wife?
Know?
She's not here.
So
that's
I feel
cool,
that
man.
If they find their passion and face their fears, and so that I like to say, I face all my fears so that I have no closets. I have no corners to get stuck in. I'm not afraid of much. I'm ready for anything to come. Not saying I'm going to win everything or whatever, but I need to face things.
That's different, though. Not winning's even better. So I feel the same thing. We're very, very similar human beings. It's really fucking weird, bro. It's not weird. It's cool as hell. But I tattooed Fear Nothing on my throat. People get confused when they see that. This is in Italian, and it says Fear Nothing, the bottom one, where the fuck it is, the script. It's Paranula, right? So it's Fear Nothing. Like Taylor Swift's album that's Fearless. Same thing. She said it best, like, I'm scared of everything. That's why I'm saying this. I'm fearless. Like, I'm owning it. That's what this is, bro. Same thing. I'm scared to death of everything, but I attack shit. I love it, right?
Yeah.
Favorite animal's the rhino right behind me. Everywhere you look, there's a rhino head, right? It's the only animal that will chart. It goes toward what it's afraid of. Wolves don't. Eagles don't. Everything has a trigger, right? Fight or flight thing where it's like, startled, I'm out. Especially humans, most of us, right?
Yeah.
The rhino goes the opposite way. You ever read any of the Rhinoceros Success by Alexander Scott? It's a big, like, if they're scared, they fucking charge it down and smother it. Like, I just always thought that was so fascinating. I'm like, I'm going to be a goddamn rhino. So that's how I live, the same way. I'm scared to death of everything, just like everybody else is. But I just keep trucking through it. And like you say, the journey of all of it, that's the beauty of it, man. I love all the hurt. I love all the broken fingers. My story's much different, but all the same things, all them struggles, that's what makes us who we are, man.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that's cool as hell that you work with people like that. I think that's on a whole new level, man. That's cool, bro. You got a lot of cool ways you look at shit. I like that.
Yeah, it's been
a
blessing.
How long is your podcast is involved in all of that, right? How long have you been podcasting for?
I don't know. The perfect example, I was on a big top 100 podcast out of Australia. And when we got done, one out of Vegas and one out of Australia, and both dudes after they quit recording, they're like, bro, why haven't you written a book or why haven't you started a podcast? And I'm like, to be honest, because I don't know technology. So they're like, dude, do it. I'll help you. So I went out and I bought the podcasting stuff and it sat behind my couch for a year. All because I was afraid of the computer, man. I don't know anything about it. I got kicked out of keyboard and I never went back. And I'm a construction guy and I thought that's all I could do. I had no talents. Come to find out, you got to push a couple buttons and plug some shit in.
That's it.
But the fear of it alone, I didn't even dare try. I didn't even pull it out of the box. So if I do that, where does that put everybody else? Because I charge shit. I go after my life. I attack it. So if somebody doesn't have that same mentality and I wouldn't do it on something so simple, where does that leave everybody else? So that was the kind of the point. They're like, dude, it'll take us 5 minutes. Call me on the phone, FaceTime me, and I'll show you how to do it. And I put it up, and I was like, shit. And then just started, and first few episodes were all fuzzy, and I didn't know why. And I put it on Facebook. I'm like, hey, anybody know any audio? And this 13-year-old kid's like, I'll come look at it.
13-year-old kid.
He's all cruising on my computer. He's like, your computer microphone was on. Thanks.
Like, let me pay you. Hang on.
Shit. Training for a month. And then just started doing it and reaching out and finding people. And ultimately, I wanted to have the conversations that were taboo that I felt had the biggest impact on mental health, the religion, the mental health, the suicide, the addiction. Like, people are like, oh, he's a druggie. Like, no, he's a sad, sick individual that needs some help. You don't throw them out and they're less than. Those are the people that if you follow Jesus or whoever you want to be, that's exactly where he would be, is helping those people. So I wanted to have those conversations, and the more I've done that, it's like the more real you get, and I'm sure you guys experience this, the more real you get here, the more people want to be around you.
Yeah, man.
It allows them to be vulnerable. And, I've gone after some of the high-name guys, and those are usually the least listened to podcasts because people, I think, are getting sick of the what do they call them, celebrities?
Mm-hmm. The big name.
And then I've had the people that have lost a son or a daughter or a husband or have given up a child for adoption, all these things that are shunned in our cultures. And it seemed to work.
That's the real shit, man. That's where the beauty's at.
And done a few with my co-parenting and brought my ex-wife and her husband on. And, there's any man that's ever been divorced has always had that ego trip of no other man's going to raise my kid, and just working through that and seeing the different struggles that people go through and letting them share their story. It's just been, I feel blessed,
Yeah, man.
It's just cool. It's amazing.
You are. You're just pinching yourself right here. You're doing it right now. I can feel it.
Yeah.
That's cool, bro.
Yeah. I feel blessed.
All right, so now you have one child.
Yeah. I have about 150, but one blood.
Yeah. That's exactly right, man.
Yeah.
How were you raised in this area? Are you
I was born and raised in Bountiful.
Nice, bro. So you're from right here.
B-town gangster.
That's right, G.
Hardcore. We were pretty dialed on the snowballing.
And skiing and snowboarding.
Yeah. Bountiful, and like I said, my dad was a well-known individual.
What did he do?
Area.
What was he?
He had a Jeep store, Jeep, Chrysler, Plymouth, Suzuki, but he was also the school board president. He was the majority whip of the state senate. He was, an amazing. Like, we went to his funeral, and it was so big they shut down the roads for him, and we had a police escort. Like, it was a big deal. And at the funeral, we had 5 people come up to me and my family member and say, "You don't know me, but your dad put me through college." And we're like, he did so much stuff behind the scenes that he didn't want. And he didn't like, at the end, he didn't like going out because people would be like, "Are you the real Dan Eastman?" Like, he hated the limelight, but he loved helping people. And unfortunately, in my addiction, I just took that for granted. And now as I work through this and try not to live with regret, because me and his relationship was not the best. He loved me, I loved him, but because of my addiction, I was kind of a pain in the ass.
That's what's made you what you are.
Yeah.
You know that.
But to see the things that he did without needing people to see it was a example that I'll never forget.
That's tough, bro.
I'm happy to hear that you and your brother's relationship is better, though. To hear that, your brother pretty much resented you during that time because you took a lot of dad's time.
Yeah. I'm glad you're doing your homework, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
I'm a fan, bro. Like, I told the Lake Talk, I was like, that was my favorite episode. And as soon as I heard you on there, I told Junior, I was like, you got to meet this dude. I had never even met you. I just heard the one podcast, and I was like, your story was so captivating that it was beautiful. And then I checked out more of your stuff, right? And then I hear the story about how you and your brother are rekindling.
Yeah.
It's dope.
That's been an amazing experience, because what he's talking about is, if you're an addict, if you're the high needs child, the other kids don't get the attention they want, right? So because my dad passed, those last few years, I'm in rehab. I need help. I need money. I need all this stuff. And I took up pretty much all of the attention. Then my dad passes. And my brother, me and him, we were already kind of like, we were cordial, and I could tell there was something wrong, but we were in Nepal, and this is just in 2017. So I've been sober for 7 or 8 years at this point. And as we're climbing up, heading to base camp, we were at
You're doing Everest, bro.
Yeah.
Word.
We got to Gorik Shep, which is the last camp before base camp. It's like 17,000 feet. And my brother got really sick. and he needed life flight. And the storm came up the canyon, and he had to get sent down with a half a tank of oxygen, which isn't enough, on a little pony that was about half the size it needed to be, and a Sherpa that was about half the size of my brother, into the storm, into the darkness. And the last trail was pretty much rock climbing and no phone service, and we just had to hope that he was going to make it down to where he needed to be. And so the next morning, and I'm the team lead of this group of 39, and I get him up to Everest Base Camp, and we're like, okay, we do the thing. We're blessing the climbers. There was 4 climbers of our group that were actually going to summit, and me and my sisters decide we're freaked out at this point. We want to see our brother, and so we wait at base camp for a helicopter, and the group leaves, and we're going to meet him down. Like 1 day's hike up, we have to go down 2 to get down low enough for us to climatize. And we're sitting there waiting, and it's been hours, and the sun's going down. They're like, helicopter's not coming. You got to go. So in the dark, now me and my 2 sisters are mobbing down like another 6-7 hour hike down through the Himalayas in the dark. And we get down, and my sister's getting sick and all these things. And so our emotions are super high, and it has become life or death for a lot of people. And as we get down, me and my brother, I interviewed him. I brought a camera, and he's literally sitting in his bed, and he hasn't been able to move or eat or anything. He had pulmonary edema and cranial edema, which means swelling of the brain and fluid in your lungs. And we had this great conversation because it brought life into focus for him, and it's going amazing. And then we get down to Kathmandu, which is base camp. You're going to go home, right? And we're sitting there talking to somebody that was with us about their marriage or whatever, and something popped off, and he lost it, and he got honest with me for the first time, and he shared his resentment about wanting attention that he didn't get because I needed it all the time, and now it's not going to be there, and really expressed, which I wish he would have years before. But we ended up hands on each other's throat, 3rd-story window, like literally ready to throw each other over. And we got to say everything we wanted to. And that gave us a base spot that we could work on. And that's the foundation. And now we've worked back. We hang out. We ride dirt bikes together. We genuinely enjoy each other's company. We don't walk on eggshells. Say, if you're fucking up, more than happy to point that out. And we hold each other accountable. And looking at that, I'm happy I can have that, and a reason we share that on the podcast, because we're not the only ones. How many family issues are out there when you really want to be with that person? You want your family to get along because there's not much left. But sometimes you got to have the bang out. You got to be real, and they got to be in that place to accept it. And that was just another gift that has taught me a lot about myself. And being more mindful of the energy I'm putting off and taking away from others.
Absolutely, man. Is he older than you or younger than you?
He's younger.
Way bigger than you, big guy.
Yep.
How many sisters did you have?
3.
3 sisters and 1 brother.
Yeah. So he's like, this is probably bad. I always joked with my dad. I'm like, what'd you do, pull out early? My brother's got hair, and he's like 5 inches taller. Man.
You met my brothers.
It's inappropriate, but.
My brothers... They're all fucking way bigger than me. Same thing. But I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I'm the old guy, way the little guy. I don't get it. Story of my fucking life. I love it.
So
I love when you duke this shit out with your brother. He's a big enough boy. You guys accept it. You're moving forward with life. Like, this is a thing. You guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
I like that, man. That's real.
And I think I was just at a place that I was finally taking a look at myself, and everything he said was true.
Sure.
So I can get my feel-goods hurt, or it was all things that I said to myself in that mirror that day that I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And it felt really good to see him be vulnerable, to shed a tear out of love. I know it was said loudly, but I got the message. I didn't hear the tone. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's just me. I doubt it is, but the greatest greatest memories of my life have come from chaos.
That's exactly how I feel.
And so I try not to do that on purpose, but sometimes the boat needs to be rocked and the eggshells need to not just be walked on, but smashed as well.
I say that all the time, man. Like, that's exactly how I feel. I say this all the time. I live in struggle. I don't see it as a struggle. I don't know if you listen to Michael Neal, but I love Michael Neal. And it's necessary. It's absolutely just part of this puzzle. So I just thrive in there. I'm okay there. I can bounce around in chaos. Look around you. This is fucking chaos. Yeah. I live there. I'm okay there. I'm comfortable there. So I think self-awareness, Gary Vee, right? Self-aware. Anything self-aware, that's good. Whatever it is, be there.
Yeah.
It sounds like you found where you're at. And it is being vulnerable that people, the mental health thing, that's the key to life. Being vulnerable to whatever it is that you ain't.
Yeah.
How is that? That's right there. That's what that is.
Yeah. I think most people are probably pretty perceptive to energies and body language. You know when somebody's mad at you. And when you ask what's wrong and they tell you nothing, then you're left in your own imagination, and that shit can get nasty. And that's a scary place for me, so I choose to share my opinion, probably a little more than I should. But then you at least know where I stand, and if you have something to say about that, I'm more than happy to have that conversation. And I just read this book. Have you guys read Green Light?
No.
By Matthew McConaughey.
I've listened to a lot of his speeches, bro. Dude's intense.
Yeah. So he's talking. He says, I was in Africa, and my two guides were arguing over something, and after a few minutes, I piped in, and I took one guy's side, and he turned around, and he got mad at me. He said, "You Americans, you always argue to be right or wrong. You never argue to understand." And I was like, "Ooh, shit."
Fucking light.
Yeah, no, Ding. This way is right. No, this is. It's like, it's everybody's perspective of how it happened. Everybody's story is real to them. Yeah. So I've chosen to not sit and try and bust balls on, that's not bullshit. Like, I'm sorry you saw it that way.
Not bad.
That's not how I meant it. And then it's so much easier that way. I don't have to battle for right or wrong. That's such a black and white conversation, especially in relationships.
Bro.
Saves you a lot of time.
It's real. It's real. It's from the heart.
Yeah.
We do it all the time. Man, I didn't mean it like that, man. My bad. I'll take that. What's up? Like, this is kind of what I meant. My bad there.
Yeah.
There's no ego in that.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's okay. I'm wrong. Apparently. It's their perspective, right? It's just perspective. And everybody has one, and goddamn you if we think we all have the right one. We don't. You got your own. That's beautiful. I love people that are upfront with me and slap me right upside the face. Hey, fucker, that's how I took this. Not when you're done at the end of the night, you're like, what the fuck did I do to him? I don't do that. I'll just say it. I'll just get it out quick. No, man, I'm not feeling that. What do you mean? Like, how hard is that?
Yeah.
It's still hard though, right? Even though that you do it. I say too much. I wish she was out here. I say too much. She's like, so one day, here's how it got real at my house. I'm going to throw in my little 2 cents. Was, baby, I need you to fucking, I bounce. I love her so much. I'm so vulnerable and open to her and so alpha, right? I'm so submissive to her. And I'm like, tell me the fuck how it is. She's like, you know what? Be quiet. And I was like, fuck, and gives me goosebumps. I'm like, thank you. I talk too fucking much for her. That's okay. I'm like, finally, it hit me deep. Same things you're saying. I'm like, I got it. I struggle with it still. Yeah. But I'm so open to want her feedback, right? And I keep digging. Don't fucking, like, she's saying everything. She's not saying a word, so shut up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that out, bro. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Being open and vulnerable and being like, got it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I'm saying, this life is beautiful.
Yeah, I think dudes like us, we just want it straight.
Yeah.
In a language we can understand.
And that's just fucking no. Yeah, no. So you don't have to go deeper. Tell me shut up. I'll shut up.
My buddy, we went to a business meeting yesterday, and the dude's explaining all this stuff, and my buddy's like, all right, now can you pull out the crayons and explain it to us again?
That's what I did with Brock.
We all just busted up laughing, like, at the end of the day, we're cavemen, and we just need to just draw it out stick figure style. Okay.
That's what I did with Brock. Same shit. Okay, what the fuck did that just mean?
What's your favorite gun to shoot?
Ooh, man, as I've gone through this deal, there's so many cool guns, and I've got a 6mm precision. That's the what do you call that? Not the logo. The business motto is a mile, no problem. So it's a sniper rifle, right? And to be able to put 5 shots inside of a quarter from 400 yards, it's kind of sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
Is it a Creedmoor?
6mm Creedmoor. So I was gonna get the 6.5, and then they said all the main sniper guys were going to the 6 because it shoots truer. So learning the long distance stuff, like it's fun to shoot handguns and the ARs, and I've shot machine guns since I was a little kid. My uncle was a little wild man and got his license really early. So one of my first guns ever shot was an M16 and a Mac 11. So
was he an FFL, or is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, the federal
Mm-hmm.
thing, yeah. And he would carry the Mac 11 in his briefcase. And he was a total gooner, dude. It's like the old man's like... It's like, so we went to one of the first indoor ranges, and at the time they had the lights going across on the shells. Very first shot ever that he had out of the gun, me and my dad were there, and he goes... and shot out whole rain of lighting.
Sorry about my bad.
Like,
my bad.
That's what that little pole's for, to come out and lean over. So, but man, I like it all. But I think the most special, again, for shooting guns, I just bought my daughter a little 22 that looks like an AR, and to see her grab that thing and lay up and same thing she's putting the 22, all of her shots are just right there. And then she's like, Dad, can I shoot the small gun? We were getting ready to shoot my AR. And she meant the handgun. And I thought she was talking to 22. I'm like, yeah. And I have a 50-round clip. Have you seen those drums? On, and she has that in her hand and is walking up the hill. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, you said I could shoot it. I'm like, okay, hold on. Get her up there. And she's just confident, just bomb, 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 bomb. Shoots off like 10 as fast as she can. And they're all hitting the target. And I'm like, she's like, can I shoot the other one? To have that confidence. She lays up on my truck bed. I got pictures, and just lays there like this little sniper chick. It's like, boom, doesn't even flinch. Boom. Like, I don't know if I should be proud or scared right now, but I'm a little bit of both.
Some of both.
But I like them all. Not in a, again, back in the day, I carried a gun because I was scared. And now I just want to be prepared, and I definitely want my kids to be prepared and understand they're dangerous, and they can be a great tool.
Part of that understanding is having them around you, right?
Absolutely.
And not having them be scared of
We were just barely talking about this. This lady I showed her my gun because it was just sitting in my truck, and she's kind of like weary of that. And she's like, we have guns, but it's in the safe. I said, how safe is that? If I break in your house, she'd be like, hold up, let me go to my safe. Oh, hold on, I'm still getting the combination. Like, they're not supposed to be in your safe. They're supposed to be out where it keeps you safe.
Yeah.
Does you no good in there.
Absolutely.
So, and there's opinions about all that stuff, but
they're just, that's a beautiful thing. Opinion. What's an opinion? Right. It's an opinion. There's no knowledge behind opinion. It's what somebody thinks. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, when guns or alcohol or anything is hidden and suppressed and held and all that, it makes curiosity a very bad tool. And people want to know, and that's how we do it too, man. We're super into the gun thing as well, and have made it where it's, you don't mess with it if you understand it. My kids understand them so well, they can take them apart in front of you. They're not worried about it. They're not going to take, when they have friends over, they know exactly where they are. They know how to stay away. They know we don't do this, this, and this. It's very, very simple, man. They've been raised that way their whole life. Is that the same idea?
I think it's the same idea for everything.
Yeah.
Sex, respecting yourself, drugs and alcohol, because I'm an addict doesn't mean everybody else is. But I want my kid to know, look, you're going to do what you're going to do, but just know if you drive, if you do this. This is what happens when you have sex. Like living on a farm, we had to have the birds and the bees conversation a lot earlier than I would hope for.
I was going to ask you that because you have a farm now. Did you grow up on a farm?
No. I'll tell you why I got a farm. So we had a farm or a ranch. I don't know if you guys ever been down to St. George, up Snow Canyon. There's a little town. It's called Veyo, Veyo. And my dad went up there one day and fell in love with this little piece of land, 30-acre little ranch. Ended up buying it. And so we went up there. We'd be city slickers a couple times a year, go down, put our cowboy boots on, ride a tractor, kick our horses, whatever. So I thought I was, but I'm sitting there in Woods Cross in a duplex, 2 bedrooms. So my at the time, my stepson is in one room and my 2 girls are in another room. And me and my wife at the time had to live in the family room. And being a gym owner, I'm up early, and then the midday you don't really do much. And so I'm home during the summer with these kids, and they just want to sit inside. I'm like, go outside and go play. They're like, there's nothing to do outside. And I lost it. So I'm like, you know what? And I'm like, how can I teach these kids some life skills or appreciation for what they have? And then this thought just came in, like, we're going farming. And I started looking for some horse property, and we had just sold our ranch, and I had a crazy feeling like my dad was with me that day, and I was just driving down the street by Lagoon, just west of that new high school, and the very first house I saw with a for sale sign that had farmland, we looked at a couple others, but we ended up getting that. And to see my little girl go out there in a blizzard, break up the ice, feed the horses, taking care of animals, and then coming in and taking care of herself. Like, most kids won't clean their room. But it has taught her so much love, hard work, compassion, like taking care of something that's not going to take care of itself. If you don't feed these animals, they will die. So it takes the argument out of it. And the lessons that they've learned, and my daughter especially in the past 4 years, is equivalent to as much money as I could have spent on rehab therapy and all of that. So whether I went broke or not, it did its job. And animals is a great way for people who are not all gangster like us that don't want to talk about their feelings to be able to sit and observe.
And get up early and do shit that it goes right back into being uncomfortable. Anytime you're uncomfortable, uncertain, scared, that's right the fuck where you belong. Yeah. And that sucks. You're welcome. That's exactly what you've created right there.
Yeah. And now
get out there. It's snowing. I know. Go take care of that horse.
Yeah.
Like, and then it becomes their brain. It's beautiful, man. That's good. That's cool.
Yeah, she's a compassionate, amazing little girl. So
How old is she?
She's 12 now.
Oh,
so we ended up.
Shit, bro.
Yeah. Don't even get me started.
Oh, I got a 25-year-old. I get it. Mine's 25.
So we went this last, I think it was right before COVID, and we bought a wild Mustang. And I figured me and her were going to train him. And the idea behind it was, if she can train a wild horse, she'll easily be able to handle a dude at 16.
Wait, like a wild horse from like the Nevada desert type shit?
Yeah.
Like they gonna wrangle him up and bring him in?
Yeah.
Damn.
A guy had it out in Erda, out by Tooele, and his high school son, didn't dare mess with it.
And your little girl's fucking whooping this thing.
She's in there with a freaking her bullwhip and just making this thing work for her. And it's like
in a round pin. You got a
round corral, and you guys should come out sometime.
Fuck, in a heartbeat. She's doing it by hand, even like she's fucking.
She's in there with it and lunging this horse.
Scare the shit out of me.
And just to see how capable kids are when you get out of their way.
Right.
Like, doing it for them teaches them nothing. And that's the hard part. They fall down. Guess what? If you pick them up, it's going to take them that much longer to get up themselves, and that happens emotionally as well. So yes, the animals are just babysitting while I can't. Don't get kicked.
It's freaking me out, the similarities in mindset we have. I really like that, man. I like that. You're much more well spoken about how to get it out of you than I will ever be. I really think that's dope. I would love to be able to say them things, man. I think that's cool. Because I feel the same way. I have a lot of things going on with our kids too. And with a mom, it's even different. It brings a different angle into it, right? Mm-hmm. The moms don't think that way. No, it's grab, it's run, and it's help, and it's do, and it's fix. And dad, me, I'm always in the back, and I'm biting my tongue. I'm like, no. They got to let them. They got to get that. They got to go there. That's a very hard balance, man.
Yeah. It definitely is.
Do you get your daughter just every other week kind of thing?
Yeah. And luckily, her stepdad is one of the most amazing men I've ever met. And
good for you.
I don't even have to worry. Like I can shut that part of my brain off and give to my community when she's not there, and then I can shut it off and be with her when she is. But to have another man that brings something to the table like he does is just like, I remember driving, my wife called and says, my fiance wants to take you to dinner. I'm like, motherfucker.
Bring it, bitch. Here we go.
And I remember driving there and I'm thinking all these things. I'm going to tell him how he's going to raise my daughter, and I'm going to tell him da-da-da-da-da-da, just ego. And I remember pulling in the parking lot and going, having this overwhelming feeling like, do you want two enemies? And I just remember thinking, maybe I just need to get out of my own way. And after talking to him and living in fear, I'm newly in recovery and still taking it personal. Why is he better than me when it has nothing to do with me? Come to find out, he's one of my good friends.
What does he do?
He sells he's computer stuff, firewalls and things
just
like that.
Just a down ass dude though.
Big dude. Big collegiate football player, rugby.
Damn.
Massive, and teddy bear.
Love that.
Super compassionate, super loving, super calm.
And he's got your daughter's back.
Oh, yeah.
That's
they're
good.
like two peas in a pod, and that doesn't take anything from my flame.
It adds it to hers.
Absolutely.
It adds to hers.
And that's the part that I'm grateful I learned early on.
Good for you, man.
And then my ex-wife's awesome, too. And she's the tough one, like me. Right, she's from Idaho, and she lost her dad when she was 9 in a trucking accident, and so she's brought up pretty tough. So she's like, "Don't die." They got these big old dogs, and I gave them a horse, and they have goats, and this awesome backyard, and the dad's the lovey teddy bear, and she's the tough. Like, she's a cool dynamic.
That's the Jason Ellis. Don't die.
It's like, how much has he bled? He'll be fine.
He's fine. Yeah, there. She's good.
So yeah, I just think there's so much. There's so many ways to get to the same place, and that people just need to understand that and do what works best for them. We all have a moral compass. We all know right from wrong. Move forward.
Self-aware, right? Just let things roll out. Yeah. The more control we impose, the less control we have, right? It's like, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Do you have did I see you have in your gym, you have a mural of Connor?
Yeah.
So what does Connor mean to you? Because that's a big thing. When you have a mural of an athlete, a martial artist in your gym, right? It means something. So what does he mean to you?
So coming out, I feel a lot of myself, I mean, that sounds bad, in him, but how the confidence he had in himself, the not necessarily the trash talk, but it was trash talk, and then the way he would perform, and then also the way that he was after with the people, and humble and moving forward. I actually went to his gym in Dublin and trained with those guys 2018 Christmas. Oh, shit. So I think a lot of it is just the martial arts, hearing his story coming from welfare and going up, bringing D. Devlin along the way. I'm sure there's been some rocky stuff, but in general that he appreciates the people that held him up when he couldn't hold himself up, the dedication. And I imagine, and this, hopefully this doesn't come off the wrong way, but being a redhead is pretty much being a minority in a sense, and always being one of 3 in a school or in a neighborhood, and I was always picked on for that. And then going back over to Ireland, and we're one of 3. They're all they were my people, like pale skin.
Well, we know the story of the Irish, so I feel you on that for sure.
So but for him, how much he believed in himself was inspirational for me. So, but the way that came up is a lady, she had a son. She heard about what I do. Her son needed help. She didn't have any money, and I like people to have skin in the game just so that it's a little more important to them to be there. And I said, what do you do? And she said, well, I'm a street artist. And I said, well, can you paint? And she said, yeah. I said, can you paint this picture? And she went, I grabbed the canvas and she painted it up, and then I took care of her son. So
that's dope, bro.
I think it's beautiful, man, because Connor's in my top 5. So what is your top 5?
I liked Miocic he was a humble dude. And I really like that new Michael Chandler. Have you seen him? Solid. Connor. It's pretty hard not to have Nate Diaz.
Both of those
maybe
boys.
Not the best fighter, but as a human, he just says it how it is. He held out for a long time and was true to himself on not taking dumb fights and wanting to get paid for what he was worth. I like Masvidal. It's hard for me really because I appreciate the game. I know how hard and how scary and how much work and effort goes into that. And I can't even imagine at the level that's what supports your family. Do or die. You're 3 and done in the UFC. And to be in there for Cowboy Cerrone, he's been banging for a long time. And there's a lot of amazing people.
So when you see, sorry, Junior,
No.
I hate to say I'm a fight fan, but I appreciate martial arts. I have since I was a little kid. Jackie Chan's my guy. I love Jackie Chan. I was just watching Rumble in the Bronx. My girl's never seen it. I was like, he breaks his ankle in this movie and he finishes the damn movie. That's how badass Jackie Chan was.
He's a fucking gangster, bro.
And for when you see freak shows like the Jake Paul kind of shit that's going on, what's your feeling on those type of exhibitions?
I think it's just exactly that. I think we're in a day and age where the GoFundMe lifestyle is there. I don't blame him if you can get $50 million to talk some shit and get in there and fight a guy that has no fight skills, whatever, and your pad in your pocket. But as you see, do you see Canelo? Yeah, you watch these Valachenko and some of these guys that are true boxers. He wouldn't last 5 seconds.
No, you don't want those problems.
DC, any of these real fighters would smash him. But at the end of the day, if you could do it, would you?
For 50 mil?
For any meal. Right?
Yes, I would, for sure.
So if that's the niche you found, you're going to use it until it runs out. And I don't blame him. I think he's an idiot in the sense of how he's going. I don't like their shows where it's, and this sounds bad because I was that person, but the drugs, the alcohol, the half naked chicks on TV, they're making it a freak show, right? There's no more respect in the sport. There's nothing in the way he's putting it on. It is kind of a joke, so that's the hard part for me. I can't watch it with my nieces and nephews. I wouldn't watch it with my daughter. So it takes away when I'm talking about Mike Tyson, Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, when the boxing was, you'd get everybody together and you get chills even if it lasted 90 seconds. Yeah. It's not that way anymore.
The scary thing about it is because is that we could, they're talking about a Lennox Lewis, a Holyfield Tyson 3, right?
Yeah.
Exhibition. But on the undercard, we might have a freak show.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bummer because it's nostalgic. We'll be able to see some of our heroes who are still in fucking amazing shape, by the way.
Yeah.
Go at it, but then you have to deal with a freak show.
Yeah. I think it's the same with the football, the halftime shows with everything's just gotten so political. It's just almost taking the fun. I haven't watched a football game in probably 6 years.
Well, when do you have the fucking time?
That's another part is when I got sober, watching football was really long. It seemed a lot quicker when I was knocking out a bottle of Wild Turkey.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, I like to get out and do some rock climbing, riding some dirt bike. I just like to be more experiential.
So, celebrity boxing match happens in Salt Lake City. They call you. Would you take a little exhibition boxing match?
Yeah.
Or grapple
and
match?
Take the money.
He'll take the money too. Like who would what local celebrity could we have Mr. Eastman box or wrestle?
Somebody better be weaker than me. I'm never gonna win.
somebody that's in shape. Like my
Gotta be
man,
at least 50.
maybe my man DB, maybe DB from Rock 106.
Let's get it.
Yeah, man.
I'll set that up.
Yeah, you can do that.
Let's get it for sure. Yeah.
What about podcasts? Who you fucking with on podcasts right now? Who do we need to be checking out? Who's underdog that's on top of the world
Man.
that you just love?
You know,
What's in your playlist?
I like
baby?
Jay Shetty. He's super chill.
God, no.
Think like a monk. Have you read that book?
No.
You got to read it.
Who is
I don't
who
read,
is that?
bro. Jay Shetty?
Yeah,
He's that guy from India, blue eyes, crazy voice.
I don't know this G.
Dude.
I'll look that up.
So I just read the book, Think Like a Monk, and it's like you must let go of everything to have anything.
I feel that.
And it's just about kind of becoming a minimalist, letting go of everything you fear to lose, and becoming more compassionate. But he's a dude that came from, I think, a wealthy family, had an opportunity to get a 6-figure income right out of college, and instead he chose to go be a monk for 3 years. Like,
Let's be more humiliated than anything in this world right now.
you know, and then
That's real.
and now he's made millions off of his experience.
Good for him, man. What is he though? Is that just what he is? He's not
He's like a life coach, motivational speaker.
Okay,
has
okay.
some stuff.
I don't know him, man. I'll check that out.
You'll recognize him.
Okay.
If you watch any motivational stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then I like E.T. just on his everything. Eric Thomas, he's just in your face and says it how it is, and that's pretty inspiring. I went to San Diego to a couples, like a power couple thing for him, and I'm sitting there on the toilet on the 8th floor in San Diego and talking to my wife at the time, and I hear this voice. I'm like, honey, go out in the hallway. She's like, no. I'm like, I think Eric's out there. She's like, bullshit. She goes out there and she's like, it's him. I pulled my pants up.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you did.
I got it on my Instagram. There's no shirt. I literally got done taking a dump, ran out there, and he's walking down the hallway. I'm like, my man, just to see. And he turned, came back, dude. He gave me like 20 minutes of his time. He was staying right at the door across from me. Super humble dude. Invites me to this show at San Diego State that he was doing private for the college kids. And I went a little bit early, and there's this dude and a little kid and his wife there. And I'm just hyperactive, and I can't sit still. So I'm teaching the little kid punch combos. This is Eric's brother. So I'm just another connection. He's like, yeah, this guy's been helping me. He's like, dude, you're the dude from the hallway. So I got in with him and CT and just seeing him up close. What happened, what I thought would happen and what actually happened was that I saw that I can do what they can do. That the magic is in who they've surrounded themselves with and following their passion. It's no different than me and you or anything else. The more you share, something's going to pop.
That's real, bro.
So as far as like podcasting, listening, following coaches, following fitness stuff, I don't really do that. Because as soon as I start doing somebody else, I lose my passion.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
Like I did the David Goggins thing for a second, but I feel like he was very repetitive on his just like hardcore all the time. And it was pretty much the same message in 50 different yelling voices. He's a tough dude, whatever, but the messages seemed to all be the same to me.
Remember when I asked you that when I talked to you on the phone? That was kind of part of the angle. You're like, I fucking do me, man. I'm like, I feel that.
So that's and I feel if I have time, I don't think I've ever read a book in my life until the last 8 months. And now I find it pretty fascinating. Reading Limitless right now with Jim Quick. That's a brain trauma. Was told he had a broken brain and stupid, and now he's the smartest speed reader, memorization, coach to the coaches, genius.
Wow.
And it's all about learning how to learn and following your passion. And he's the guy, his mentor is the guy that said, don't let your schooling get in the way of your education.
I like that.
I love shit like that.
I do too, man.
So as I get these little things, I don't get all geeked out on the stardom, it just gives me a little bit more, fills my tank to go on and do me.
Sure. I feel that. Yeah.
So my favorite one to answer that question is the 27th hour.
Well, fuck, I could die right now. I'm fine with that.
I got one last question. I mean, obviously, I have tons of other questions. But what you are a guy that wears many hats. You know, everybody in this room wears many hats, right? What's your biggest challenge right now while doing all of that?
I think it is and probably always will be the political red tape. Like, as far as me, I don't really struggle much anymore, in the sense that I know that if something happens, if I handle it as it's happening, if I listen to the pain early enough, I don't let it build up, that I'm going to learn the lesson a lot quicker, and it's not going to be as big of a mess, right? So I always tell people I invite pain to sit at my dinner table with me so we can have a conversation long before it's haunting me in my dreams or ruining my business or relationship. But as I go out and I want to help, and I have the ability to help all of the taboo, the people, well, we don't believe in mental health. No, my kid's fine. We keep it in our family. All the bullshit, old school mentality, the old belief systems, and we need to get back to the village raises the kid. And the more I put, like, getting into schools is tough, bro. Really tough.
Being able to speak at them, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you'd think that they would want that at every corner, but they have so much red tape that if you say the wrong thing and a parent gets mad about it, teacher's getting fired. Is it worth it to them? You know, but I have a hard time. I'm pretty good at detaching, but we've had a lot of young deaths over this COVID deal, and I'm pretty angry at the whole pandemic nonsense. Put masking kids, taking them away from their community, isolation. Like, that's the thing that's killing them in the first place. So let's go and choke their oxygen out. Let's give them higher anxiety, and let's stick them by themselves at home behind a computer. It bugs me, and I get very defensive, and I want to go out and smash the higher ups that are coming up with these stupid ideas. Like, there's got to be a better way. And so my biggest issue right now is probably me getting in my own way of all that stuff, and just do what I can.
That's beautiful, man.
Change what I can and leave the rest. But yeah.
Do you have any inspiration to get to to be in a position where you can make the calls and make changes in that way?
That's funny you ask that. In a million years did I never think that I would follow my father's footsteps. The more I do this, I keep feeling like there could be a city council or a state senate or
president. Fuck you.
Nah, I don't want
that. I've already voted.
How about vice president? Because I'm already voting for The Rock. So
well, fuck. There you go.
It could be you and The Rock. I'll vote for you guys.
Peas in a pod, man.
Man, I think that just is the worst job on the planet, because they're not the one calling the shots. They're the ones getting the shot.
That's real.
And there's definitely puppet strings, but I think that we're all in a position, having a podcast, being known on the radio, all these different things. We have the ability, and I think we're doing what we can, and for everybody to step outside and widen their circle a little bit, open their arms a little bit. That's what it's going to take. Just like the jihads get their sleeper cell, we need to be a non-sleeper cell. We need to awaken our neighborhoods and get back to having the neighborhood barbecues and block parties and keeping it safe and letting people know we're here for you. We're not the same. We don't have to be the same religion. We don't have to like the same things, but you live 2 houses from me, I got you. And it just does not happen anymore. So I want to be that change and be around people who are changing that. And also show them that tattooed guys are not felon, worthless pieces of shit.
That's right where I was going.
I just actually posted before I came about your body's a temple conversation, and I always laugh because it's like, pretty sure temples have artwork inside of them, but they don't have shit everywhere. It's like, you're going to judge me when you're at Fizz waiting in line at 8 a.m. It's cool to do this or that, but if for earrings or tattoos, I'm the bad guy. And again, it's the old cultural nonsense, and I'm sure it's not just Utah, but pretty strong in Utah, of every, from Magna being judged to Ogden being judged to Bountiful being, like we got to drop that and just see, like get to know people before anything's put out. So yes, I would love that, but I would love it to be in a different, I would love to be part of an army. You know what I mean?
You already are, bro.
Trying.
You're leading one.
Trying.
I see it. I see that huge following right behind you doing it. That's the thing, man. You are doing that. That's what I feel. And I'm proud to have joined it.
I appreciate that. I'm glad.
I've joined that fucking march.
Being in here, like we could. Few people mess with us. There is one sick torture chamber coming your way.
It's called.
There are 32 guns in this room right now, and Eastman has 30 on him. Right?
Yeah.
This is like 50 Shades of Red in here, baby.
It's straight. Say less, bro. That's real. I feel life is so fucking awesome, and we share so many similarities. It's fucking freaking me out. I don't know what happened here. I love it, and it's gonna go further. It better, because the similarities they're in this room right here would freak you out. If I had 6 more hours to take of your time, I would fucking steal it. Because, bro, there's a lot of commonality here, and I really like the way you tick. I like the way your brain works. I would love to do more stuff with you, man. Yeah, I really would.
Likewise.
So we're very, very humbled that you gave us your time. When you said yes, I was like, what the fuck? I had to look in the mirror a little bit and be like, yeah, okay. Did that just happen? This is happening. Here we go. The more we do it, the more happy I'm getting, man. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
I appreciate that.
Pinching myself too.
So I'd love to have you guys. It's always fun to tell my story, but I like hearing them as well.
Send it. Let's do it, man.
Let's get that.
You let me know.
Happen.
We can do that in a second.
Do you do it from the ranch, from the farm? That's dope, man.
Yeah, seen your setup.
Yeah,
I watched you.
It's a very humble, not so cool backdrop as this. We used to do it at my gym until COVID, and people got weird about coming to a commercial place. Like, then we'll do it on my couch.
Yeah.
So do you train out of wherever? Because I seen you at Vasa, and you were leg pressing your wife or your girlfriend and another lady. And I was like, what? I thought he had his own gym. What is he doing at Vasa? Why is he going to the man?
Right. So yeah, I train at my gym during the week, and then for the heavier stuff that I don't have leg press and things like that. But also there's a lot of lost people at Vasa, at any of the big box gyms that are there for a family or a community or to get better, and there's no guidance there. So I meet 2 to 3 people every single time I go. Like, they need a spot, or they ask me what I'm doing or whatever, and just bring them into the fold. And I want to be a pillar of light, not just in my own. Like, in order to branch out, you got to branch out. And it's fun for me to not be the coach sometimes. Even me walking into a big box gym, I get a little bit uncomfortable. Like it.
Once again, that's where I like to be.
You know,
it's good like, for you.
There's a bunch of big dudes in here.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing, you know, but at the end of the day, I've got this lady's like, I just wanted to let you know that you're my gym boyfriend. She's like 66. Because one day I'm sitting there and she was like trying to read the description on the thing and trying to do it, and it was completely wrong. And I'm like, hey, do you mind if I show you? And she was a little scared because I'm tattooed and all that fun stuff. And we just started talking, and her son struggled with addiction, and we just connected. And now every time she's like, I've been looking for you. I love your Facebook. I love following you. Can you help me for a minute? And she, like, her husband's jealous, and it's just funny, you know? And her old ladies go in there, and they're all between like 65 and 72 years old. And then I get a bunch of guys who like I said, they want to come do what I do or whatever. So it's kind of a marketing tool as well.
Good for you, man.
You know,
good for you. You said one of my favorite words, bro. Connecting. I think that's all we have when we're here, right? I feel that in my heart. You feel that same way? I live for that second.
Yeah.
I wonder.
I think it's important to step out of your comfort zone too, kind of a neutral. So for me, walking in there, like the first couple times, like, what if people see me here and they think my business is doing bad? You know, like I'm losing my, like, who gives a shit? Go move some weight. So, but it's been fun because I hit my 1,000-pound leg press, which is stupid. I don't know why I do it.
That is fucking stupid.
Risk and reward is definitely not there.
God damn.
Do it all for the gram, you know?
No, you literally do. He's over here doing dips with 200 pounds on his back. And I'm like,
that's real.
What the hell is he? This guy is an animal.
Yeah, you're a beast. Bro.
I get you're a beast, and then I get the real guys like, you know, you're going to blow your shoulder joints, and then you'll have to be out for 6 months. And I'm like, yeah, he's probably right. But it was cool.
Got a lot of everybody. You ever notice I've talked about it several times. Everybody has, I have it all written inside everything in here, but everybody has everybody's answer all the time. You ever hear that, right? Yeah. I love that. The more I get told something, I'm like, you're watching. That's thank you, right? Yeah. You need to sleep more. If I had a fucking dime, a fucking penny for every one of the calm down, you need more fucking sleep. You need more. You should. You. I'm like, thank you. Like, fucking, thank you. You should do a lot less of whatever the fuck you just said. Sleep less. Sleep more. Everybody has everybody's answer, man.
Yeah.
What do you get a lot of? Calm the fuck down. You can blow your arms out. Do you get lots of that?
Yeah. I think people at this point, because I used to chirp back pretty hard. I think if you read through my comments on most of my stuff, people kind of know where to stay in their lane now.
Sure.
Not that I would do anything anyways anymore, but I think that there's not that I have a huge following, but there's plenty that
you have a huge following
that chirp in that have my back. It's funny. Did you see the post maybe when I was praying with my wrestlers?
No.
And somebody asked me the question, like, who you praying to? I said, it depends on the day. And then, okay, well, tell me this. And so I'm like, some days I pray to my dad, some days I pray to Buddha, sometimes I pray to the Creator, sometimes I pray to Jesus. And as soon as I said Jesus, he piped in like, well, if you believe in Jesus, then you know he's the only one creator and that you don't know your beliefs and that you're confused and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what?
Get all the eggs out of that one
my
basket.
Belief system. And then all of a sudden, dude, it went from like 3, and it's a junior high wrestling team post. It was just about like honor and being appreciative that we get a season. Shit went off for like 280 comments. People are just, and then he's like, come on my podcast. It's about spirituality and the confusion in religion. I'm like,
did you go?
He rescheduled like 5 times. I'm getting
weird.
I'm getting so
he rescheduled.
Instead of focusing on the that these kids have somebody that cares for them, right? That's there for them, that wants to see them do well, not only on this match but in life. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're worried about who they're praying to.
That's spike insecurity right there.
And I said, clearly you've been hurt by somebody in the LDS religion. I'm not hurt. I'm like, okay.
He's scarred.
Cool.
That's tough guy shit.
I'm praying to the janitor that they wipe these mats down. That's what I'm praying for.
I don't want staph infection.
Ringworm.
That shit's real. What? I have one last question. I could talk for fucking 28 hours, so I'll let it be. I think everybody has the thing, right? The answers, the thing. I'm interested how you answer. I don't care what people say. I want to know how they say it, right? So. What's your secret to life, bro? What is the secret to life for your brain?
Is that everything is borrowed, life is a journey, and every single time that I've in my life that I felt like if I reached this destination, my life would be better, that was false. My time with you guys is borrowed. The time with my daughter is borrowed. My home is borrowed. My truck is borrowed. Nothing is mine. And it allows me to be more present and appreciate more while I'm there. And Everest taught me this very well, because when you've been hiking for 17 days, 8 hours a day, getting into thin air, you're literally dying. You come around, there's this massive mountain. Like, is that it? And they're like, no, we'll let you know when it is. Is that it? No, just false summit after false summit after false summit. And it's like, is it even about the destination? So for me, I enjoy the ups, the downs, and I don't plan on ever arriving.
That's fucking beautiful, bro. Why you don't have a book blows my fucking mind.
Because I'm afraid to write.
People, right? I'm afraid to do a podcast.
Yeah, all you do is talk and have a scribe be there.
That's why Dre's sitting right there.
Start writing.
I'm afraid to do a published. I'm afraid to do a fucking his job, right? People.
Yeah.
I love that, man. You're a deep dude, bro. I think it takes that deep scar to make a deep dude, right? That neural pathway's there, and that deep scar in life of what's been creates what is if you really open up to it, right? I feel that, bro.
What was your first tattoo? Sorry.
This is Dre's show.
Yeesh, man. It was really I always like to say it was before tramp stamps were a thing.
Oh, you got one of them?
I got this. I was at college, and tattoos, you were not supposed to get one. So I got what I imagined my guardian angel would look like, and it was like this little troll, devil-looking dude. My life turned out that way. So I was like, man, what if I would have put like My Little Pony on there? My life could have gone a little bit better. But so then I had to get this monster cross on my back that I love, but to incorporate my tramp stamps into just a solid piece. But I'm working towards a suit. So
I see a lot of, is it Celtic?
There's Celtic and sacred geometry and
Norse.
Yeah, it's kind of my armor. Yeah,
I see Norse.
It's literally tattooed on. A lot of it's mental health stuff. My right leg is dedicated to people I've lost, either to suicide or drug overdose, and something that reminds me of them and kind of memory.
Are you a big? Do you leave the ones, or do you like to cover stuff? Do you leave? Are you a cover the mistake guy or love the mistake guy?
I've never covered anything.
Attaboy. I love that. I don't do it either. I think it's horseshit.
Yeah.
I think that's another scar. It's a part of it.
That's what people
enjoy
like.
it.
How come your arms are different? I'm like, because I didn't think past the quarter sleeve.
I think that's beautiful.
This is a different design. This is different, but that's kind of I'm like a chuckarama. I like a buffet. Like a little bit of everything, whatever touches my heart and means something to me, and they all do.
When you're in the gym, not to cut you off, when you're in the gym, what are you listening to?
Anything that I don't have to change. So we listen to like a lot of Goldfinger, the punk stuff, the old ska, Primus.
So Goldfinger did Superman, right?
99 Red Balloons.
No.
Oh, maybe
Goldfinger, because here I am doing everything I can.
Yeah.
That's Goldfinger, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So like Really Big Fish, stuff like that. And then we've been listening to Outcast Radio. Get some of the old school, some Notorious and things like that. But when you train like we do, you've only got a short minute, and if you even think about the music, like if it slows down or whatever, and you're like, wait, why is this song sucks? It like disrupts. So as long as the beat, Blink 182, something upbeat, because we're doing work, bro. We get after it, and
because you guys are doing circuits, right?
Kind of, yeah, like CrossFit stuff. Some days we're lifting heavy and things like that, but I don't want to stop, and I get pretty motivated in the morning. And once I'm in my workout, I don't like to be bothered. So I try and just put it on a playlist, like some System of a Down, and then maybe some Busta Rhymes, some upbeat, in your face stuff. So talk to to Fonzie and those boys, and they'll give you a little flavor of what I'm like in the mornings. Man, that boy's he's doing work, man. I really like him a lot. He's a good dude.
Yeah, man, I love those guys. That's why I'm wearing their hat. Because man, I told these guys since the first day I met them, I was like, you guys are special. I was like, you guys don't realize what you guys have. You don't realize, and I think that's in all of us, right? We don't realize who we are in that next character that we can unlock, right? We don't. I see it in Junior. I see it in you. I see it in the Lake Talk 801 guys, right? And it's beautiful to me when you guys do hit that. Like, it's like, this is what Dre was talking about. Yeah. Like that next fucking character in the fucking video game of life.
I think that's that early, what we're told we can be. Like what I've become is, it wasn't even, it's so far past the ceiling of what I thought for myself. And then I imagine if I can do that, there's infinite growth that I can have. But sometimes they can't see it. A lot of cultures don't teach that. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude, as soon as I met those guys, they're like my brothers, man. I love them. They're driving out from West Valley, bro. Every day, consistent and putting in work. Love them.
To train at your facility?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Fonzie told me that you guys like to wrestle.
Did he talk to you about that?
He said that you like to test him, see how he's doing.
Oh, that was so funny. We did that yesterday morning, I think. And he slid in, and I took his neck. I'm like, do not expose your back. He's like, okay. He comes busting across. I wasn't even paying attention. He comes busting across, and somebody smashes me. And I look over, and it's a 55-year-old Puerto Rican lady, and she's just going ham on me. Her name's Maria, dude. She's just tough. Like, Fonzie, you freaking being a little decoy. No, but, man, salt of the earth, you know. I think you peel back the layers with people, get them out of their what they feel they need to take those masks off for society and get down in. Just awesome.
That's what I talked about earlier about fighting, how quickly it does that, right? When you're with somebody that can reveal to them who they are.
Yeah.
Because you're alone. There's nobody there with you. I'm gonna expose this for you. Listen, look at this. And they're like, fuck. If you can get real in that second, your heart changes, right? You're like, God damn. Yeah. That calms you down, right?
Absolutely.
And makes you either want to get real badass and tough or just give the fuck up.
Yeah, I like the side of it that it shows guys how tough they're not.
Right.
And it allows them to humble up and either learn to train and become really confident and lose that false confidence, or take a step back and know that they need to watch what they're saying.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Tough guys don't talk shit. I've said
and
it
I'm
million
not
times.
even that tough. There's some tough dudes out there.
Well, Nate Diaz, I guess he'll talk a little shit. I think it's all part of it. I think when you meet them people, they're beautiful human beings, man. I really do. I've noticed it. Guys that are really gnarly are really, really gentle people. Very, very gentle. They know they can hurt you.
Yeah.
I don't need to act anything.
Yeah.
Not me, but whoever that is, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Bro, fucking thank you for coming on here, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
Dog, you got no idea. I'll thank you. This was great, man. I enjoyed this very much. We need to do part 29.
Yeah, for sure. What's your socials? Where can people catch you? What's the website?
I spend most of my time on Instagram, and that is Tattooed Life Coach in the number 8. Or you can find me on Facebook at Rob Eastman. And then I have a couple websites, tattooedlifecoach.com, eastmanfitnessutah.com, and then my podcast is called Stand and Fight, and it's everything mental health.
Rob Eastman, I don't think there's anything else to say other than fucking thank you.
Yeah, man. It's been a pleasure.
I can't wait to come on and enjoy this to flip.
Absolutely.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, man.